There's a whole section here that's all about the same thing, but
Yeah.
it's because there's a lot of words.
Yeah.
So the first one being trans.
You know, the whole thing of, I just don't like the word of label, like labeling somebody. But
Yeah.
what else do you call it?
Right.
It's a way of identifying something.
Exactly.
Okay?
That's what a label is.
So that's fine, but labels can be, I think, used in a good way or a positive way and in a very bad way as
Totally.
well, right?
Yeah.
So like a label, faggot is
Yeah.
a very bad label, it's a very bad word. So that's why this is one that, okay, people need to know what, because some people don't know what trans is.
No, they don't understand that it actually is just an abbreviated form of transgender.
Right. Which is someone who was born, let me sure I get this right. So someone who was born a male or a female, but transitions into the opposite sex. Is
That's a great definition.
Okay.
A person who lives as a member of a gender other than the assigned at birth.
Okay.
Which is a succinct way to say it.
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
Okay.
So then trans is the umbrella term covering a range of identities of transgress socially defined gender norms. I'd like to read this definition again because I think it's a bit confusing now that I'm reading it, which is it's a prime example of thinking you know what a word means. So trans is an umbrella term covering a range of identities with transgress socially defined gender norms.
So here you go. That's almost like, to me, you're talking about gender fluid.
Exactly. So trans now means a little gender fluid. I think that's confusing.
Just keep drinking.
So now I know you're going to know what the answer is to this, but I think I need you to say it to the camera. What is transition?
Oh, transition is someone who is going through the change of becoming from male to female or female to male. So that process they go through, the hormones, all that.
Absolutely. Is a term primarily used to refer to the process of when a trans person changing their bodily appearance either to be more congruent with the gender sex they feel themselves to be.
Yeah. I think mine was
yours is even
simpler.
Better. Yeah. So interesting then to bring up the terms transsexual and transvestite.
Right. That's a good one. So transsexual, well, we've talked about that. Trans, who's someone who changes their sex. Transvestite. Is it not the same thing?
So interestingly, this definition would prove that it's different because it says a person who dresses as the binary opposite gender expression, cross-dressing, for any one of many reasons, including relaxation, fun, and sexual gratification, often called a cross-dresser and should be not confused with transsexual.
Yeah. I should have known that because that's what we used.
That's a very, it's an older term.
It's an older term. Transvestite is a
sort of somebody
cross-dresser,
But dresses in drag? That's not?
No.
At all.
I think drag is completely different.
Yeah.
Like, it's dressing in drag is more like that's for performing. Right. It doesn't mean that
everyday life includes.
It doesn't mean that's like you get off.
Right. But this transvestite is clearly somebody who, for relaxation, fun, or sexual gratification, cross-dresses.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's just for like almost like
intimate
pleasure, but different kind of drag is like it's an entertainment thing.
Yeah. So
labels. Why are we doing labels?
We're talking about labels because take the acronym LGBTQ to blah. It just keeps going on and on and on. That's an example of not even understanding fully those labels that we've given the queer community. And that's why we chose queer, because we see it as an umbrella term.
Yeah.